When Hulk Hogan was found dead, most people assumed it was the tragic end of a wrestling legend. But when the FBI stepped inside his mansion, they discovered details that told a far stranger story. The spotless gym, the silent alarms, and what was hidden beyond those walls shocked even seasoned investigators. This was not the peaceful passing it first appeared to be. This was something much darker. Here's what the FBI found that left the world stunned. On July 24, 2025, wrestling fans around the world woke up to shocking news. Terry "Hulk Hogan" Bollea, the most recognizable face of professional wrestling, had been found unresponsive at his home in Clearwater, Florida. For decades, Hogan had been larger than life, a hero in the ring and a pop culture icon, but on that morning, his final chapter began quietly inside his own house. Emergency crews arrived quickly after receiving a call of a cardiac arrest. Paramedics worked to save him, but despite their efforts, he could not be revived. Hogan was rushed to Morton Plant Hospital, where doctors made a last attempt before officially pronouncing him dead at 11:17 a.m. Local reports confirmed the news and sent shockwaves through the wrestling community. Messages of grief, shock, and tribute flooded social media within hours, as fans and fellow wrestlers tried to process the loss of a man they thought was indestructible. Later that day, a Florida medical examiner released the official findings. The cause of death was listed as a heart attack, and the death was classified as natural. The report also noted Hogan's history of serious health struggles, including leukemia and atrial fibrillation. For many, the explanation was straightforward. Years of fighting both inside and outside the ring had taken their toll on his body, and this time, the fight was simply too much. Yet, as news outlets settled on the official version, questions began to stir in the background. Local reporting pointed out that the emergency call, the timeline of events, and even the body camera footage from police officers on the scene had not been fully released. These details, still under investigation, left an opening for speculation and suspicion. That speculation grew stronger after Hogan's daughter Brooke spoke out on Instagram. In an emotional statement, she revealed that she had been contacted by people who said they were with her father on the day he died. According to her, they included both police officers and nurses. Brooke explained that they told her the police body camera footage and the 911 recordings supposedly contain information that could potentially shed enough light to change the narrative. Her words suggested there was more to the story than the official medical report. She went on to explain how these professionals had continued reaching out to her, even though doing so could jeopardize their own careers. Those same professionals feel so passionately about what they witnessed, they have continued to contact me and push me to find specific answers to this very day. They are quite literally putting their careers at risk because they feel so compelled to do the right thing, she said. Brooke also described her frustration at being unable to act on what she had learned. She wrote, "The short of it is, it's all up to my dad's wife and I have zero control. I cannot do anything. My hands are tied and I have no say in anything regarding my dad, even as his daughter. These are the rules as I've been told." This chain of events forced investigators to search every corner of the mansion where Hulk was living, and what they uncovered inside hinted at something far more disturbing than a simple, natural death. Investigators started their search from the room where paramedics had first found him. It was his private gym, the place where he had spent countless hours training, even in the later years of his life. What they found there immediately felt unusual. Reports from major outlets confirmed that the gym looked unnaturally spotless. Every surface was clean, The equipment was in perfect order, and not a trace of dust or sweat could be seen. For a man who had been known to work out daily, the scene looked staged rather than lived in. Investigators described it as sterile, almost as if it had been carefully prepared before their arrival. Even stranger was the discovery that Hogan's advanced home security system had been manually disabled from the inside. There were no signs of forced entry anywhere in the mansion. Doors and windows were locked. Nothing appeared stolen. Yet the alarms that should have protected the property had been shut down. According to reports, the FBI later confirmed that cybercrime specialists began scanning through the smart home data and internal security logs to understand how and when the system had been tampered with. While some social and tabloid posts have claimed that the FBI carried out a major tech sweep of the property, these claims remain unverified. Still, what has been publicly acknowledged by official sources is enough to raise serious questions. Why was the gym so clean, and why was the alarm system disabled just before Hogan was found? The lack of forced entry suggested that whoever had been inside the mansion either knew the system well or had the ability to shut it off without leaving a trace. This added a new layer of mystery to a case that had already unsettled both the family and investigators. Brooke Hogan's earlier words about professionals pushing her to seek answers seemed to echo more strongly after these revelations. Her claim that about the police body cam footage now felt more significant. If the house itself held signs of tampering, then perhaps the recordings did too. The official cause of death remained a heart attack, but the circumstances surrounding Hogan's final moments no longer appeared simple. Nothing explained why the system was disabled until a mysterious phone call surfaced. As investigators pieced together the final days of Hulk Hogan's life, one detail kept surfacing in different conversations: a phone call that did not fit the pattern of his usual routine. Among many rumors was a story that 3 days before his death, Hogan received a disturbing late-night call. According to several social posts and video clips, the call was traced through multiple foreign servers, making it nearly impossible to track. One video circulating online even claimed that federal agents believed the call might have been a trigger event in Hogan's final days. The clip suggested that the call could have been a warning, an act of blackmail, or even a hint at something larger. None of these details appear in official reports. They remain allegations promoted through social media and tabloid outlets. Still, the rumor gained attention after Sky Daily, Hogan's wife, allegedly told close friends that she remembered fear in his eyes that night, a look she said was rare for him. Those words spread quickly, fueling theories about what the legendary wrestler might have been facing in private. The FBI has not confirmed any details about such a call. What has been acknowledged is that Hogan's home systems, including his security network, were under review by their cybercrime unit. If a call of this nature truly took place, it would fall into the same category of investigation. For now, it remains unclear whether officials are treating the claim as a serious lead or as background noise from the intense speculation surrounding Hogan's death. The idea of a cryptic call only deepened the questions already raised by the sterile gym and the disabled alarms. If the call existed, was it connected to the tampering inside the mansion? Was it a warning that something was coming? Or was it a personal matter that weighed heavily on Hogan in his final days? The mystery of the phone call remains one of the most talked about pieces of the puzzle. Allegation or truth? It has shaken both fans and family members who wonder if Hogan's last moments were marked by more than just failing health. To understand this call, investigators had to dig into Hogan's past, the personal struggles and fractured family bonds. Behind the bright lights and larger-than-life persona of Hulk Hogan was a family history filled with deep scars and public disputes. His personal life was often as dramatic as his wrestling career, and by the time of his death in July 2025, much of his family remained fractured. Hogan's first marriage was to Linda Claridge, better known to fans as Linda Hogan. The couple married in 1983 and spent over 2 decades together. Their relationship became part of the public spotlight during Hogan's wrestling peak and later through reality television. But their union unraveled in 2007, with the divorce finalized in 2009. What followed were years of very public battles, accusations, and bitterness, often played out in the media. In 2010, Hogan married Jennifer McDaniel, a makeup artist, in a quieter ceremony that contrasted sharply with the drama of his first marriage. For a time, this marriage seemed to bring him stability, but it too ended in divorce in 2021. That same year, he began a relationship with yoga instructor Sky Daly. Their relationship moved quickly, and they married in 2023. When Hogan passed away, it was Sky who was by his side, though the rest of his family was conspicuously absent. One of the most visible fractures was between Hogan and his daughter, Brooke. By the time of his third marriage, Brooke had already distanced herself from her father. Brooke, now a mother of 7-month-old twins, Oliver and Molly, with her husband, hockey player Steve Oleksy, was notably not there to wish her dad and his new bride well. On Instagram, she explained the decision by writing, "For my own journey to healing and happiness, I have chosen to create some distance between myself and my family, and am focusing on people and things that heal my heart and align with my own personal beliefs, goals, and values." This estrangement continued in the final years of Hogan's life. Linda Hogan also spoke about the breakdown of the family earlier this year. "It's been 15 or longer years since I left Hulk Hogan," Linda said in a video posted to her Instagram story in March, "and my family is in the worst mess." She added more, explaining the silence between her and her children. The 65-year-old continued, "Brooke doesn't talk to us. She's had twins. She got married. She didn't tell us. She had a huge fight with Terry. I don't know how that reflected onto me, but she cut me out too." Brooke responded the next day with a lengthy post of her own, in which she addressed what she described as only the tip of a very large iceberg. She made it clear that her decision to cut ties with both parents had been difficult but necessary. "I have completely separate reasons for severing ties with my mom and dad," she wrote. In the same message, Brooke revealed the pain of growing up in a family often overshadowed by fame and conflict. "I longed for a normal family," she wrote, "but it never came to fruition." Although moments of joy existed, family vacations, red carpet appearances, and their VH1 reality show that briefly painted the picture of a happy household, the cracks beneath the surface had widened into a full separation. At the time of Hogan's death, Brooke's decision to remain distant spoke volumes about the unresolved wounds that had shaped the Hogan family for years. This broken peace within the family created a cloud over Hogan's final years. For investigators, it meant that the people who might have shed light on his private struggles were either absent or unwilling to come forward. For fans, it added a tragic element to the story of a man who had spent his life as a symbol of strength, yet could not mend the bonds within his own home. But it wasn't just family history that raised suspicion. Rumors about Hogan's health and surgery added another dark layer. Even before his sudden death, Hulk Hogan's health was a subject of public conversation. Over the years, he had undergone a long list of surgeries, especially on his back and joints, which had taken a heavy toll on his body. By 2025, those close to him often said he seemed both resilient and fragile at the same time, determined to keep moving forward despite the mounting medical challenges. In the months leading up to his death, new rumors began to swirl. Between May and July 2025, there were widespread reports on social media and in tabloids that Hogan had undergone serious neck or spinal surgery. Some claimed it was a procedure known as ACDF, a surgery designed to stabilize the neck and relieve pressure on nerves. These stories quickly drew attention because of Hogan's age and history of health problems. The rumors grew so strong that Sky Daily, Hogan's wife, felt compelled to address them publicly. She denied that Hogan had slipped into a coma after surgery, pushing back against claims that suggested his condition was worse than it appeared. Her comments came after radio host Bubba the Love Sponge posted his own statements online, insisting that Hogan had been in a much more serious state following the procedure. This back and forth between Sky and Bubba was widely reported in the media and only added fuel to the growing debate. Medical experts who spoke to reputable outlets explained that major spinal or neck surgeries carry serious risks. Complications can include nerve damage, breathing problems, and even sudden cardiac events. For someone with Hogan's medical history, atrial fibrillation, leukemia, and long-standing heart issues, the risks would have been especially high. Reporters covering the story noted that he faced a very delicate balance, fighting through procedures that could help him but also potentially endanger him. Despite the swirl of speculation, the official record remained clear. The Florida Medical Examiner ruled that Hogan's death was caused by a heart attack and classified it as natural. Still, the conflicting accounts left the public divided. Some accepted the official finding of a natural collapse. Others pointed to the possibility of surgical error. And a more suspicious few wondered if there had been foul play involved. The theories, fueled by both fact and rumor, left Hogan's final months surrounded by uncertainty. And then, during the FBI's second sweep of his mansion, they uncovered something no one expected: an entirely hidden room. Some online posts claimed that during the FBI's second sweep of Hogan's mansion, agents stumbled upon a hidden basement room. According to these stories, it was not just a storage area, but a concealed chamber filled with files, old photographs, and strange objects. The suggestion was that Hogan may have kept private records away from public view, records that could connect him to figures and events far outside the wrestling world. But when it came to solid reporting, the picture looked very different. Mainstream outlets such as AP News, Reuters, and the New York Times never confirmed any such discovery. There were no official statements from law enforcement about hidden rooms, tunnels, or secret folders. These claims were mostly found in fringe corners of the internet, fueled by sensational headlines and unverified Facebook posts. In truth, what was actually uncovered inside his mansion that day remains unclear, leaving a wide gap between rumor and fact. Even so, the idea of a hidden chamber captured the imagination of fans. To many, it felt like the perfect final twist in the story of Hulk Hogan, a man who lived his life larger than life, both inside and outside the ring. Was he simply a legendary athlete whose body finally gave out? Or did he die protecting secrets that were never meant to be exposed? The uncertainty only deepened the mystery. Hogan's passing was officially explained by natural causes, but whispers about hidden rooms and secret files continue to stir curiosity. And that brings us to the ultimate question: what does Hogan's story mean now? A legend remembered for his glory days, or a man who left behind shadows too dark to ignore. For fans, friends, and fellow wrestlers, Hulk's death was not just the loss of a man, but the end of an era. Almost immediately, tributes began to pour in. In Clearwater, murals of Hogan appeared on walls, painted by admirers who wanted to honor the hero of their childhood. WWE itself paid public tribute, celebrating him as one of the greatest to ever step into the ring. The wrestling legends who once shared the spotlight with Hogan spoke with heavy hearts. The Undertaker wrote, "The wrestling world has lost a true legend. His contributions to our business are immeasurable, and for that, I am appreciative. Thank you, Hulk Hogan." Sting added his own heartfelt words, writing, "Hulk Hogan, the greatest of all. Can't thank you enough for all that you did for me and for wrestling fans all over the world. I loved you and I will miss you." My friend, Terry Bollea, RIP Triple H, also reflected on Hogan's place in history, noting, "WWE would not be where it is today without the larger-than-life characters that compete in the ring, and few, if any, loomed larger than Terry Hulk Hogan Bollea." At the time of his death, Hulk Hogan's net worth was widely estimated to be around $25 million. Built from decades of wrestling fame, endorsements, television deals, and business ventures. Questions quickly rose about who would inherit his fortune. Since Hogan was married to yoga instructor Sky Daly at the time of his passing, she is expected to receive the largest share of his estate. However, his children, Brooke and Nick Hogan, are also seen as natural heirs, and some outlets have reported that estate lawyers are reviewing how assets will be divided between them and Sky. For now, the exact details of Hogan's will remain private, leaving room for speculation about how his wealth will be shared. Hogan's shadow now stretches in two directions. One is the bright legacy of the man who made millions believe in the power of Hulkamania. The other is the lingering mystery, the unanswered questions, and the silence of an investigation that still holds its secrets close. So, what do you think about Hulk Hogan's death? Was it truly natural causes, or is there more to the story than we know? Share your thoughts in the comments below.